Well, this is a new one. I did not see this coming. Stay tuned.
Bry's Comics.
In this video, we're going to talk about a recent crack press resubmit that I did, also known as CPR, for Amazing Spider-Man number 129. And we did get the grade bump, a significant grade bump. But what's interesting about this video is I'm not too sure we can call this a success. But before we get into it, I want to remind you we have a killer giveaway this month here on my YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and like this video, you're entered to win Invincible Iron Man number 7 and a 9.8 first cameo appearance of Riri Williams. And if you head over to bryscomics.com and sign up for the newsletter, you're entered to win a free slab each and every month. This month is Doctor Doom number 1, the 1 in 50 variant for the first solo series for Doctor Doom. Don't forget to follow me over on Whatnot, where you can steal comic books from me, giveaways every single show, and follow me on Instagram for trade deals, for grails, and all kinds of fresh content and awesome stuff happening over on Instagram as well. So this book, I got this ASM number 129, and when I got it, it was a 4.5, and we got the grade bump to a 6.0. And to discuss why this isn't necessarily a success, let's jump into the computer and take a look at the numbers. So here we are in GP analysis for Amazing Spider-Man number 129. If we go down to the 4.5 grade, which is where I got this book, on about May 20th. The most recent sale was $1,500 at that time. And then the next sale after that was $1,600. So it leads me to believe that in May, $1,500 was a reasonable price for this. So I probably would have listed it for $1,500. I usually offer 10% off. So I do believe that it would have sold for $1,500 with the 10% off. And here you can see on the actual graph for ASM 129 that it absolutely exploded along with the rest of the market. And then there's been a lot of ups and downs. You know, the Punisher has been in the news a lot lately with the whole debacle about his emblem change, and now MCU rumors and ongoing MCU rumors. So a lot of ups and downs, but the most recent trend is definitely been down. And if we go up to the 6.0 range, we could see that the most recent sale was $1,625. But if we click on that actual sale, we can see that it was a white page copy that ended at auction here at my comic shop. So I think it gets a little bit of a premium for being a white page copy. And the two most recent sales before that in the month of July were $1,550 and $1,550. So today, I believe I would price this at $1,550. Of course, with that 10% off, I think that is a competitive price and will probably sell. $1,500 for the 4.5, $1,550 for the 6.0 2 months later. And if you factor in my cost to this, I had this graded at the Express tier because I didn't want to wait forever to get it back. And, I have my costs to have my employee press and clean with, employment costs and the pressing setup and all that. Let's just say, for the pressing and grading and shipping and everything, I'm about $150 into the process. So this number is really $1,400 for me. So $1,400 for the 6.0, where I could have got $1,500 for it 2 months prior. So I want to try to be as clear as possible with what I mean by this isn't necessarily a success. If you use CPR to fund the hobby, which is a fantastic way to fund the hobby, you need to be really careful in doing that in today's market. With the market and prices going down, even if you are successful with your CPR and you get the grade bump, the value of the comic book by the time you get it back could be less than what it was in the lower grade before you even cracked and resubmitted it. Now, there's a lot of nuance to this, okay? If you're a collector, if you have no interest in flipping books or selling books for a profit, then of course getting a 6.0 is definitely better than a 4.5. If this is your personal copy in your collection and you just wanted it to present better and look better and be in its best possible shape, then this is a success by all means. And I realize that I am in a very unique position with where I sit in the hobby. I realize that, not everybody watching this is a dealer, and most people watching this, in fact, don't even sell comic books. I think that is fair to say. At least a large number of people don't even sell comic books. So if this video doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't apply to you. But I know that there are a certain number of people that use CPR to actually fund the hobby. And if you're looking at a book, okay, and you're considering making a purchase right now, and you see that the book has pressable defects, and that is one of the desirable attributes to you, and you think, wow, well, I can get this book today for $1,500, but it has all these pressable defects. I think I can get a grade bump. Just consider all of the cost and time that's going to go into getting that grade bump and where the market could potentially be by the time you get that book back. And so this one is kind of tricky to wrap your head around. I mean, of course, a 6.0 today is worth more and is better than a 4.5 today. However, a 4.5 2 months ago was actually worth the same or more when you consider the costs of pressing and resubmitting than a 6.0 today. The big problem with all of that and with the market that we have today is that no one knows where the bottom is. That's the big question, is where are these books going to bottom out? When are we going to start seeing a resurgence and seeing them go back up? Because when we do start to see a comic book resurgence, and I'm sure that we will, CPR is back on the table. CPR in an increasing market, in a bull market, is a fantastic way to fund this hobby, because not only is the book that you bought going up in value, but you're going to get that grade bump increase in addition to that. Let's flip the roles and say that this was 2020, okay? In 2020, if I bought a 4.5 and then it took a few months to go through the process of resubmitting and pressing and it came back a 6.0, that would be an exponential increase in the value of the book. So timing is everything with CPR, and I think it really only works well in a bull market, not a bear market. I mean, there are situations where CPR can still be lucrative today. Let's say, for example, this same book in like a 9.6 to a 9.8. This is like a $10,000 book in a 9.6, and it's like a $40,000 book in a 9.8. So even if the market does come crashing down even more than it's coming down right now, if you were successful in cracking this from a 9.6 to a 9.8, there is such a huge price gap in those two grades that it would still be worthwhile. So there is a ton of nuance to this, just like with everything in the comic book market. So there are situations where CPR would still be a slam dunk. Usually it's in that 9.6 to 9.8 range. Sometimes there's a big price jump in Silver Age books from like a 6.0 to a 7.0. It really kind of depends on the book and what's on the census. So there will be some cases where it's still definitely worth it. Of course, with CPR, you always run the risk of the book coming back lower, and that would be a double hit in today's market. If you were to crack this 4.5 out and say we were to come back a 4.0, man, that's a huge L because of all the time that you put into it, plus the downturn in the market. At the end of the day, it's not a huge loss whatsoever, but it was certainly an eye-opening experience for me, and I thought it was worthy to make the video because I know somebody watching this will have a situation that they're going to go into and be like, maybe I should either wait to CPR that book or just sell it as is. Anyways, thought it would be an interesting video. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for your chance to win Invincible Iron Man #7. Head over to brycecomics.com and sign up for the newsletter. I'm always sending out discount codes, killer deals, and exclusive access, first access to new collections that come in. Follow me on Whatnot. Link down in the description to get $10 off towards your first purchase. And thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bryce Comics.